Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
We are. Wow, we're already at week 15 of season 84 for the MOF.
It feels like the season just started, and now we're at the finish line, basically.
It really is. And, if you've been following the league this year, you can just feel it in the air, right? The whole atmosphere has shifted.
Oh, absolutely. Ruthless is the word you used before we started, and it's the absolute right word for this moment.
Yeah.
You look at these standings, and the margin for error has, well, it's effectively evaporated. It's gone.
We are so far past the point of, we'll get them next week.
Right. For about half the league, maybe more, there is no next week if they don't perform right now. The math just doesn't work anymore.
And we have a massive stack of documents to get through today to figure out that math.
Yeah.
We've got the official power rankings, which they're always a big point of contention.
Always.
We have the league leaders' snapshots, which are, frankly, some of these numbers are just eye-watering this week.
Some of them look like typos. You have to double-check them.
Exactly. And then we have those dense, beautiful data visualizations. We've got the charts for defense, offense, red zone efficiency, and the all-important, the one we always come back to, turnovers.
The king of all stats in this league.
It really is. Yeah. But the mission today isn't just to read off a list. I mean, anyone can look at the rankings and see that the Philadelphia Eagles are number one. That's the easy part.
Right.
I want to know why the hierarchy looks the way it does. I want to understand why a team with over 7,000 yards of offense is stuck in the middle of the pack.
The Commanders.
The Commanders. And on the flip side, why a team that seems to win by 1 point every single week is sitting pretty at the number 2 seed.
And that's the Eagles and Saints contrast right there in a nutshell. And that really is the story of season 84.
How so?
Well, you have these statistical darlings, the teams that look absolutely amazing on a spreadsheet. You look at the yardage, the third down conversions, and you think, this team is unbeatable. And then you have the other teams, the ones that they just know how to survive. They know how to win the ugly games. They know how to survive 60 minutes on the virtual gridiron.
Survival is a skill. It's not luck if you do it every week.
No, it's a repeatable process.
And it's one we are going to dissect today. We're going to break down the DNA of these top teams. We'll look at the chaos zone in the middle, and I really, really want to spend some time on the anomalies, the numbers that just don't make sense.
There are a few in here that actually made me go back and double-check the source material because they seemed mathematically impossible.
Which ones?
Specifically regarding the turnover margins in the bottom tier. I mean, the numbers are so skewed, it's hard to believe a team can even function.
We will absolutely get to those disasters shortly, but you have to start at the summit.
You have to.
Section 1. The Titans at the top. The view from the number 1 seed belongs once again to the Philadelphia Eagles. Coach Kane's Bucs 1 has them sitting at 12-2. They held the spot.
And they held it convincingly. But, we need to contextualize this 12-2 record. It's not just the number. In this league, late in the season, you often see the top teams coasting.
Right. They lock up their seed, rest some guys.
Exactly. They take the foot off the gas. The Eagles are doing the exact opposite. They are accelerating into the playoffs.
They really are. And that's what's so impressive, because they took a genuine standing 8 count just 2 weeks ago, week 13. Against San Francisco.
A huge game, a potential Super Bowl preview.
And they lost 31-17. That is the kind of loss against another top contender that can introduce doubt. It can plant a seed in the locker room.
It absolutely can. You start questioning your scheme, your players start pressing a little bit, trying to do too much.
And suddenly a 12-2 season becomes a 12-5 season, and you're stumbling into the playoffs.
Exactly. It exposes cracks. It gives the rest of the league a blueprint on how to beat you. But the Eagles, they didn't crack.
Not at all.
They responded with what I can only describe as controlled violence. They just dismantled the Vikings 41-17 in week 14, a total demolition.
And then this week, week 15, they put up 59 points on the Washington Commanders.
59.
I don't care who you are playing. I don't care if their defense is ranked last. Hanging 59 on a professional defense in this league is a massive statement.
It's 8 touchdowns and a field goal. It's relentless. It's sending a message to everyone else that 49ers game was a fluke, not the new reality.
So let's dig into the how then. Because when I look at the league leader's snapshot, there's one name in particular for the Eagles that it's at the very top of the list.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. You can't miss him. He's having a career year.
It's unbelievable. He looks like he's 23 again.
He is leading the league with 24 rushing touchdowns.
24.
That is nearly 2 per game. We talk about complementary football all the time, but this is the perfect living example of it. So the question is, why is Saquon scoring so much? Is it just that the offensive line is dominating up front?
Well, the line is great, don't get me wrong. But it's more than that. It's about opportunity. It's about field position.
Okay.
This is where the team turnovers visualization becomes the most important document in front of us. Pull that one up and look at the Eagles differential.
Okay, got it right here. Wow. They're sitting at a massive plus 25.
Plus 25. They have taken the ball away 33 times this season. 33 interceptions.
So that means, what, more than twice a game the offense is getting the ball back? Likely with a short field, without having to drive 80 yards.
Precisely. It changes the entire calculus of play calling. And when you give a back like Saquon Barkley the ball at the opponent's 40-yard line instead of your own 20...
The playbook is wide open.
It's completely open. You don't have to force the pass. You don't have to be perfect. You can pound the rock. You can run play action. You control the game.
So who's the engine of that turnover machine on defense?
We have to give credit to the man in the middle. It's Jalen Carter.
The sack artist.
12.5 sacks from the defensive tackle position. In the MOF, pressure forces bad decisions. It's that simple. It's a foundational truth.
And interior pressure is the worst kind.
It's the absolute worst. You can't just step up in the pocket to escape it. Carter collapses the pocket from the inside out. The quarterback panics. He gets happy feet. He throws it up off his back foot.
And that's where he gets those 33 interceptions?
Yeah, it's a conveyor belt. It's a factory. Carter creates the chaos, the secondary catches the mistake, and then Saquon Barkley punches it in for 6. It's a beautiful, brutal ecosystem.
It sounds unbeatable when you lay it out like that. It sounds like a perfect system. But then you look at the team sitting right behind them at number 2, the New Orleans Saints. Coach Night Knowles, also 12-2. They moved up 3 spots this week. But the vibe is completely different, isn't it?
Oh, it's night and day. The vibe is pure anxiety. If the Eagles are a well-oiled, German-engineered machine,
right,
the Saints are a high-wire act being performed in a hurricane without a net.
They really are the cardiac kids. I was looking at this earlier. Listen to these score margins from just the last 3 weeks.
It's unbelievable.
They beat the Colts 29-28,
right,
1 point. Then they turn around and beat the Panthers 45-44, another 1-point game. And then this week, they beat the Texans 33-31. 2 points.
That is exhilarating for the fans, maybe, but it is torture for the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's 3 straight weeks winning by a combined 4 points.
So here's the big question. Is that sustainable? Can you keep doing that? Because they keep doing it.
Conventional wisdom, everything we think we know about football analytics says absolutely not.
No way.
It says it is unsustainable. If you are flipping a coin every single Sunday, which is what a 1-point game essentially is, eventually it's going to land on tails.
Eventually a kicker misses, or a bad call goes against you, or there's a fluke bounce.
Exactly. Something will go wrong.
Yeah.
But the Saints have an equalizer. They have a cheat code that seems to defy probability.
Let me guess. It's the turnovers again.
It's the turnovers. Go back to that same chart. Find the Saints.
Okay, scrolling down. They're there. Whoa. They are at a plus 27 differential.
Better than the Eagles.
That's actually better than the Eagles. And they have 40 interceptions? Is that right?
40. 4-0. That is an absurd number for 14 games of football. It doesn't even seem real.
That's almost 3 picks a game, on average.
It is. So think about what that means. Even if your offense is stalling or the game is tight or the opponent is just scoring at will, which the Panthers clearly were to put up 44 points, your defense is handing your offense 3 extra possessions a game.
It erases so many mistakes.
It's the ultimate erasure. And you have to look at one player in particular who is driving this. We have to talk about Danny Stutzman.
We talked about him in the pre-show. The numbers are confusing for a linebacker.
They are video game numbers. They don't make sense for the position. He's top 5 in the league in tackles with 49.
Okay, that you expect from a middle linebacker. You want him filling the gaps, being the thumper.
Right, that's his job description. But here's the part that breaks my brain. He's also top 5 in the entire league in interceptions with 8.
A linebacker with 8 interceptions.
That shouldn't happen. A linebacker should not have ball skills like a premier free safety. It's not supposed to work like that.
So he's just lurking in the middle of the field?
He robs the middle of the field. Quarterbacks look at their pre-snap read. They think that zone is safe. They think they can zip it in over the middle to their tight end or slot receiver.
And Stutzman is just sitting there waiting for it.
He is. So when you ask, can the Saints keep winning these heart attack games? Usually I'd say no. But when you have a guy like Stutzman who can single-handedly steal a possession in the 4th quarter, Yeah, maybe they can. They don't need to dominate the clock. They just need to steal the ball at the right moment.
It's a different formula for the same result.
Mm.
So we have the dominant Eagles and the clutch Saints. Then we get to the Kansas City Chiefs at number 3. Coach Bubba Duran 07. This feels like the model of consistency.
It's the Chiefs. It's what they do year in, year out. They are 11-2. And while we're talking about defense for the Eagles and Saints, for KC, it really does start and end with the quarterback.
It has to.
Patrick Mahomes is, well, he's being Patrick Mahomes. He's third in passing yards with nearly 4,000 already, and he's second in touchdowns with 43.
43 touchdowns through 14 games that's MVP caliber stuff.
It absolutely is. And you have to remember, they just beat the Bills 28-21 back in Week 13.
That was a huge separator game.
It was. That proved they belong in this top trio. But honestly, while the Chiefs are great, they are predictable in their greatness. We know what we're getting.
Right.
If we want to talk about confusion, if we want to talk about a team that just completely breaks my brain a little bit, we have to look at number 4.
The San Francisco 49ers. Coach Beast, 107.90. They are 11-3. They are ranked 4th. But when you look at the raw stats, my God, they look like the best team in the history of the league.
It is a total paradox. This is the volatility of Tier 1 right here. Let's just look at the resume. On one hand, they just lost to Seattle, 41-27.
A big loss. That's why they're not number 1 or 2.
That's why they dropped. But now, pull up the team defense image. Find the 49ers.
I'm looking at it right now. Points per game allowed, they're number 1.
And look at that number.
15.41 points per game.
In the modern MOF, with the way offenses are tuned, holding teams to 15 points on average it's miraculous. It's a throwback to a different era of football.
It shouldn't be possible. And the turnovers. Let me flip back to that chart.
Just look for the biggest number.
Plus 32. They have the best turnover differential in the league by a lot. Plus 32.
And look at the interception total.
43 interceptions. They've taken the ball away 48 times total.
Okay, so let's pause and process this.
Let me get this straight. They have the best scoring defense in the league by a significant margin. They have the best turnover differential in the league by a mile, and they just gave up 41 points to Seattle.
And lost. That is the question of the week. How? How does that happen?
It has to be an anomaly.
It highlights that any given Sunday reality, doesn't it? Even with the historic all-time great defense on paper, if you run into a hot offense, which Seattle is, and we'll get to them later, you can still get burned. Seattle evidently found the kryptonite.
So statistically, the 49ers are the juggernaut of season 84, even if the rankings have them at 4.
They are. The underlying numbers say they should be undefeated. The scoreboard says they're 11-3.
It really shows that stats tell a story, but the scoreboard.
Yeah.
The scoreboard writes the ending. You can have all the differentials in the world, but if you have a bad day against a team like Seattle, you drop in the rankings.
And that fragility is what makes the playoffs so terrifying for these top teams, because the 49ers could easily go on a run and win the Super Bowl, or they could have another Seattle game and go home in the divisional round. There's no in-between for them.
Speaking of stats telling a complicated story, let's move into Section 2. We need to do a deep dive into the anomalies. These are the teams where the numbers just don't match the record, or where one stat is so extreme it just warps the entire team identity.
I love the anomalies. That's where you learn the most about how the game engine is actually working, what really matters.
Let's start with the most entertaining and maybe the most frustrating team in the league, the Washington Commanders.
Oh, boy.
They are ranked number 11. They are 9-5. Not a bad record at all. But just look at the team offense image with me.
This is the glass cannon theory in action, a perfect specimen.
It is. The Commanders are number 1 in total yards, 7,264 yards of offense, number 1 in points per game at 30.24.
And it's not just the passing game. Look at their running back, Chad Price.
Second in the league in rushing with almost 2,000 yards on his own, 1,929 yards.
So they are balanced. They can beat you on the ground. They can beat you through the air. If you just looked at the offensive sheet, you'd think this was the greatest team of all time. You'd think they were undefeated.
But there is always a but with a profile like this, a massive one.
Always.
Now flip the page with me. Go to the team defense image. Find Washington.
And there it is. It's a horror show.
Total yards allowed. Last place. Dead last. They have given up the most yards in the entire league, 6,586 yards allowed.
And the points per game is just as bad. 27.76 points per game, also near the bottom.
So they score 30, but they give up 28. every single week.
That is the textbook definition of Tier 2 football. They can score 40 on anyone. Look at what they did against the Eagles. They scored 43 points against the best team in the league.
An incredible offensive performance.
But they gave up 59. They still lost by 2 touchdowns. If you are a Commanders fan, every single game is a thrill ride, but that is not a recipe for a championship.
Explain that. Why not? Why can't you just outscore everyone? Isn't that the goal of the modern game?
Because eventually your offense has a cold quarter. It's inevitable. Eventually you go 3 and out. The other team's defense makes a play. You have to punt. And with a defense this porous, a punt is essentially a turnover. It's a death sentence. If the Commanders' offense doesn't score on every single drive, they lose ground. They lose the game.
That's an exhausting way to play football.
It puts immense psychological pressure on the quarterback and the play caller. Every play feels like it's 4th and goal. You cannot, under any circumstances, hoist the Lombardi Trophy if your defense is a turnstile. History proves it.
It's the ultimate winning the battle, losing the war scenario.
Yeah.
They win the yardage battle every week, but the scoreboard is a complete coin toss.
Exactly.
Now, from the frustrating to the just, the truly disastrous, let's look at the bottom of the barrel. We have to talk about the turnover crisis happening in Cincinnati and New York.
This is painful to look at. We always say protect the football. It's a cliche. But I don't think people realize just how direct the correlation is between turnovers and winning in the MOF. It's almost 1-to-1.
Let's look at the Bengals, ranked #30. Their record is 3-11. Now let's go back to the team turnovers image.
It is a staggering number. I mean, just look at it. A -37 differential. -37.
That's almost giving the other team 3 extra possessions every game.
It is. They have thrown 51 interceptions as a team. 51.
And the quarterback, I mean, Joe Burrow is a superstar name. He's a franchise guy. But on this sheet, he leads the league with 45 interceptions.
45 interceptions in 14 games. That is more than 3 a game.
That's just, I can't even comprehend that.
This is the point I really want you to understand. It doesn't matter that Jamar Chase is leading the league in receiving yards with 1,551.
Which he is. They have the top receiver in the game.
It simply does not matter. It is the perfect example of empty calories. You can throw for 400 yards, you can hit Chase for a 60-yard bomb to pad your stats, but if you end 4 other drives with an interception that gives the opponent a short field,
you're going to lose.
You're going to lose every time. You cannot outscore your own mistakes in this league. The Bengals are living proof that elite talent without discipline results in a 3-11 record.
And the Giants are right there with them. Rank #32, last in the league, -35 differential, 45 INTs thrown as a team.
It's the exact same story. Their QB, Jackson Dart, has thrown 38 of those picks. You just look at the standings. Giants are 2-12, Bengals are 3-11. There is a direct 1-to-1 line between throwing 40-plus interceptions and sitting at the absolute bottom of the power rankings.
So the lesson for everyone listening is pretty simple. If you want to win an MLF, stop throwing the ball to the other team. It sounds so basic, but apparently it's the hardest thing in the world to execute for some teams.
It's about decision-making. It's about risk assessment. It's about not forcing the ball into tight windows just because you have a star receiver. It's about knowing when to take a sack or throw it away. The top teams know this. The bottom teams are learning it the hard way, week after week.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about the peak and the valley. Let's talk about the chaos in between. Section 3, the movers and shakers. The teams making noise in Tier 2 and that chaos zone.
This is where the playoff picture gets really messy. This is where the wild card seats are going to be decided.
The biggest riser of the week, by far, is the New York Jets. Coach Enzo. They jumped 9 spots, all the way from #25 to #16.
That is a massive leap this late in the season. Usually teams are who they are by week 15. You don't see a team completely reinvent itself in December, but the Jets have found something. They've clicked.
They've won 3 straight. They beat the Patriots. Then they had that wild 48-45 shootout win over the Commanders.
Which proves they can hang with the #1 offense.
Exactly. And then they followed it up with a solid 21-14 win over the Titans. So what is their identity? What changed?
Their identity is speed. Pure, unadulterated speed. When the offense hits, it's a track meet. That's the quote from the analyst note. And it all revolves around one man, Breece Hall.
He has been huge for them. Just looking at his numbers, 1,785 rushing yards.
And 21 touchdowns. He's a touchdown machine. When you have a running back who is a threat to score every single time he touches the ball, it takes so much pressure off your passing game.
Defenses have to stack the box.
They have to commit 8 men to stopping the run, which leaves your receivers in one-on-one matchups. The Jets are getting hot at the absolute perfect time. A 9-spot jump shows that the rest of the league is finally taking notice. They aren't just a doormat anymore, they are a legitimate problem. If you see the Jets on your schedule next week, you're nervous.
Another team that is a problem, but maybe for their own fans' blood pressure, is the LA Chargers, ranked #6. Coach Shoddy Pizzle. They moved up 3 spots, but man, are they a volatile team.
The Whiplash team. I love that description because it's so accurate. Just look at their last 3 weeks. They beat the Vikings 49-10.
An absolute dominance, a perfect game.
And the very next week, they lose to the Bears, a team ranked #31 in the league, 38-24.
I mean, losing to the Bears right in the middle of 2 offensive explosions, how does that even happen? It makes no sense.
And then they turn right around and beat the Bengals 43-38 in another shootout. It speaks to a ridiculously high ceiling and a terrifyingly low floor.
That's the definition of a dangerous playoff team, but also a vulnerable one.
Absolutely. If good Chargers show up, they can beat anyone in the league, including the Eagles or the Saints. If bad Chargers show up, they lose to the Bears. It's a coin flip.
What drives that volatility? Is it just focus?
Usually it's focus. It's playing down to the level of your competition. But you have to look at their defense, too. They have legitimate playmakers. They're not void of talent. Tuli Tuipulotu and Jaden Ryan both have 11 sacks.
And on the back end, Diane Henley has 8 interceptions.
So they have the guys who can make game-changing plays. They have the pass rushers. They have the ball hawk. They just need consistency. If they can find it for 4 straight weeks in January, they are Tier 1 material. If not, they're a first-round exit. But honestly, I would not want to bet against them in a shootout.
Now let's talk about a team that might be the true dark horse of the playoffs. I think you and I are both high on this team. The Seattle Seahawks, ranked #7, Coach Mr. Rocklow, up 4 spots this week.
This is the team I am watching more closely than anyone else right now. They've won 3 straight, but look at who they beat. This isn't beating up on bad teams.
Right.
They beat the Steelers. They beat the Lions in a close one. And then the crown jewel of their resume, they beat the 49ers 41-27.
Beating the number 4 ranked 49ers, the team with statistically the best defense in the league, by 2 touchdowns.
That's incredible. It's more than incredible. It validates everything they're doing on offense, and what they're doing is throwing a lot of touchdowns. We need to have a serious conversation about Jalen Milroe's MVP case.
He leads the league in passing TDs with 46. 46. That is 3 more than Patrick Mahomes.
He is lighting it up, and it's not like he's just dinking and dunking. He is pushing the ball downfield, and he has a 2-headed monster at receiver that is just unstoppable.
Jeff Brackett has 17 touchdowns, and Elijah Arroyo has 14.
That is 31 touchdowns just between 2 players. It's a lethal passing attack. And you said it before, they are peaking right now. Beating San Francisco proves they can handle an elite championship-level defense.
And it gives them immense confidence.
Exactly. If I'm the Eagles or the Saints, and I'm looking at the potential playoff bracket, I am looking at Seattle and thinking, I do not want to play them. They are hot, they are confident, and they can score in bunches. They are timing their run absolutely perfectly.
So much talent in this league. It's incredible. Let's take a closer look at some of the other individuals making it happen. Section 4, the league leaders snapshot.
Let's do it. Time to give the players their due.
We mentioned Milroe leading in TDs, but let's look at the arms race for pure yardage. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills is leading the pack with 4,208 yards. No surprise there, really.
No, that's standard Josh Allen dominance. The Bills rely on him to do everything, run, pass, be the entire offense, and he delivers the yards.
But the name sitting right at number 2 caught me off guard. Roger Jarrett from the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4,042 yards.
This is a great catch because Pittsburgh is ranked #9, and they're quietly having a great 9-5 season. But I don't think people realize just how prolific their passing attack has become.
They're not thought of as a high-flying team.
Not at all. They're still seen as a defense and running game kind of team. But Roger Jarrett is matching Mahomes and Allen throw for throw this season. It's remarkable.
And he's doing it with a true number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf is second in receiving yards with 1,549, and he's first in receiving touchdowns with 19.
19 touchdowns.
That connection Jarrett to Metcalf is one of the most underrated storylines of season 84. Everyone talks about Jamar Chase or Marvin Harrison Jr., but Metcalf is putting up Triple Crown type numbers. Pittsburgh is flying under the radar, but with that passing attack, they are incredibly dangerous. Okay, let's look at the ground game, the running backs. We have one man and only one man in the 2,000-yard club. Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions.
2,061 yards. It's an incredible individual season. He is averaging nearly 150 yards a game. Just a workhorse.
But here's the rub, and it's a theme we keep coming back to. Detroit is ranked #13. They are right in the thick of that chaos zone. They're 7-6.
It's the classic case of individual brilliance not always translating to team wins. We saw in the notes that Detroit lost 2 absolute heartbreakers recently, a 34-33 loss to Cleveland and a 36-35 loss to Seattle.
Both by 1 point.
Gibbs is doing his part. He's probably keeping them in those games. But the team isn't closing them out.
It goes right back to that complete team theory. You can have a guy run for 2,000 yards, but if you lose by 1 point because your defense can't get a stop on the final drive, you're still a 7-6 football team on the playoff bubble.
Precisely. And speaking of closing games, let's look at the defensive terrors, the guys who end drives by themselves. Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns, 16.5 sacks.
He is in a league of his own. The next closest is Jalen Carter at 12.5. Garrett is 4 full sacks clear of the field. He's on another planet.
And Cleveland is ranked #8, and they've won 4 straight games.
And that is not a coincidence. When you have a player who can ruin an opponent's game plan single-handedly, who can destroy a 2-minute drill with a strip sack, you win close games.
Like they did against the Lions.
Exactly. Cleveland beat the Ravens 27-24. They beat the Lions 34-33. Myles Garrett is the closer for that team. He is the reason they are winning those tight contests, while a team like Detroit is losing them. He's the difference maker.
It's amazing how these individual stats weave right back into the team's success or failure. It's all connected. Now, I want to get a little nerdy with you for a minute.
I love nerdy. Let's get into the spreadsheets. Let's do it.
Let's talk efficiency. Section 5. We are looking at the team red zone and team offense images, because sometimes the game isn't decided by the 80 yards in the middle, it's decided by the 20 yards at the end.
It almost always is. I say it all the time. Yards are vanity, points are sanity. And red zone efficiency is how you get those precious points.
So I'm looking at the team red zone chart. Who's the best in the league?
This is, well, it's deeply ironic. The Chicago Bears have the highest red zone scoring percentage in the entire league at 72.8%.
Wait, the Bears? The team that is 2-11 and ranked 31st.
The very same.
How is that even possible? That doesn't make any sense.
It's a classic statistical quirk. It means that on the very, very rare occasions they actually manage to get to the red zone, they score. But because they are 2-11, we know they aren't getting there often, or, even more likely, they are turning it over at midfield. Remember, they have a -18 turnover differential, so they are technically efficient in a vacuum, but they're completely ineffective in reality because the sample size is just so small.
That makes sense. It's efficiency without volume. It's meaningless. So who are the actual contenders that are doing well in the red zone?
Well, the Colts are sitting around 67%, which is elite. That's a great number. Buffalo is at 60%. Those are healthy, sustainable numbers. If you are scoring touchdowns on 60% of your red zone trips, you are going to win a lot of football games.
And who is struggling down there? Who's leaving points on the board?
Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers, they are only converting at 39.13%.
Ouch. Less than 40%. That's brutal.
That explains so much about their season. It's the whole story. They're ranked #20. They are 6-8. When you get inside the 20-yard line and you have to consistently settle for field goals, or worse, you turn it over on downs.
You cannot beat teams like the Eagles or the Saints. You just can't keep up.
You just can't. That 39% is the anchor that is dragging their entire season down. It's killing them.
That is a killer stat. If you want to know why a team is losing close games, check their red zone percentage first. Now let's quickly look at third down conversions on the team offense image.
And here we have another efficiency paradox. The Atlanta Falcons are leading the league, converting 56.03% of their third downs.
Over 50% is usually considered the gold standard. That means they are fantastic at sustaining drives.
It is. It means they're moving the chains. But the Falcons are 5-9 and ranked #24.
So they can keep the drives alive, but they can't win the game.
It suggests 2 things, and we've seen this before. 1, their defense is failing them. We see they give up over 22 points per game. Or 2, turnovers. And what do you know? They have a -18 differential.
So they convert on third down, move the ball between the 20s, and then throw an interception.
That's it. It has to be so frustrating for a coach. You feel like you're moving the chains, you're winning the possession battle, you're dominating time of possession, but then you look up at the scoreboard and you're losing 31-17. Efficiency without ball protection is utterly meaningless.
It all comes back to turnovers, doesn't it? Every single time.
It really does. It's the recurring theme of season 84. You can be efficient, you can have yards, you can have a 2,000-yard rusher, but if you give the ball away, you lose, period.
Okay, we are in the home stretch of this deep dive. Let's bring it all together and talk about the playoff implications. Section 6. Who is in the danger zone right now?
We have some teams that are in an absolute free fall. And if they don't pull the ripcord in the next week or two, they are going to hit the ground hard.
Let's start with the Indianapolis Colts. Ranked #17, they dropped 9 spots this week.
9 spots. That is a catastrophic week at this point in the season. They've lost 3 straight, lost to the Rams, lost to the Saints by 1 point, lost to the Texans. They are now 7-7.
A month ago, they were a playoff lock.
They were, and now they are fighting for their lives. It's a total collapse.
And the Minnesota Vikings, ranked at #19, they dropped 6 spots.
Minnesota has been through a brutal schedule. They had to play the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Cardinals in their last few games.
And lost all of them.
They lost all of them. They're sitting at 6-8.
So, is their season over? Can they recover?
Not mathematically, but psychologically. When you lose 3 or 4 in a row in December, the locker room starts to fracture. Fingers start getting pointed. They are deep in Tier 3, the chaos zone. They need to stop the bleeding immediately. They need a win next week, or, yes, season 84 is effectively over for them.
On the flip side of that coin, we have the dangerous, not untouchable teams in Tier 2, the teams that nobody wants to play in the first round. We mentioned the Browns already.
The Cleveland Browns at #8. Coach Domi, TSX, they've won 4 straight. They know how to win tight, ugly, physical games. That makes them terrifying in January. They are comfortable playing in the mud.
And how about the Arizona Cardinals at #10? Coach Booby MTZ7.
A very quiet 9-5. They just beat the Vikings 32-30. They beat the Bears. They beat the Seahawks a few weeks back. They are flying completely under the radar.
Why are they dangerous?
Because they are competent, they are efficient, and they have Marvin Harrison Jr., who can change a game with 1 catch. You can never count them out. They don't beat themselves.
These are the matchups that make the wild card round so much fun. You have these gritty, battle-tested teams going up against the high-flying division winners who might be a little complacent.
Exactly. I would be very, very nervous if I were a #2 or #3 seed and I saw Cleveland coming to town for a playoff game. Myles Garrett against your offensive line with the season on the line. No, thank you.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground today. We've dissected the Eagles' dominance, the Saints' heart-stopping wins, the turnover anomalies, and the playoff push. Let's try to summarize Week 15 as we wrap up.
For me, the summary is this. The picture is becoming very clear at the top. We have a big 2 right now, Philadelphia and New Orleans. They have separated themselves from the rest of the pack through different methods. Then you have the scary, explosive offensive tier right below them with Kansas City and, believe it or not, the Washington Commanders. And then you have the defensive juggernaut in San Francisco that has a bizarre habit of giving up points at the worst time.
And the big takeaway. If you had to boil all of season 84 down to one central thesis, what would it be?
It's the turnover differential. It is the closest thing to a crystal ball that we have in this league. It's more predictive than any other stat. If you protect the ball, like the Eagles at +25 and the Saints at +27, you win. Even if you cut it close, you find a way to win.
And if you don't?
If you throw 45 interceptions like the Bengals, you lose. It doesn't matter if you have 7,000 yards of offense. It doesn't matter if you have the best receiver in the league. If you give the ball away, you go home.
It's a simple game made complicated by human error.
That's football.
Before we sign off, leave us with one final provocative thought, something for the listeners to chew on until next week.
Okay, here's one. Look at the Seattle Seahawks again. We talked about them, but I want you to really think about the timing of their surge. They just beat the number 4 team in the league. They have the passing touchdown leader in Jalen Milroe. Their receivers are scoring at will. They are getting better every single week.
Okay.
My question is this. Are the Eagles and Saints peaking too early? They've been dominant all year. They've been at the top of the mountain since September. But Seattle's getting hot exactly when it matters most. Are we watching the rise of the team that's actually going to lift the Lombardi Trophy while the top seeds are just running out of steam?
Ooh, that is a spicy take. Peaking too early versus perfect timing. I love it. Well, that is all the time we have for this deep dive. I encourage you, the listener, to open up those league leader snapshots yourself. Look at the numbers. Find your own anomalies.
The numbers don't lie, but they do whisper some interesting secrets if you listen closely enough.
Keep listening and keep diving deep. We'll see you next week for the playoff countdown.
Take care.